Alright, welcome back friends to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment. Today we've got a siege assault. I know I've got plenty of subscribers, other viewers who have requested more siege assaults. And I have a big siege assault planned today. This castle was recently taken by the Aserai, this city rather, Varcheg. It's a very critical city. It's sort of right in the center of my small empire. So I'm going to go ahead and gather some additional forces here from a nearby keep. I'm kind of overloading because I'll be dumping some weaker troops here. The siege is going to be extremely difficult because the last I saw, the Aserai had something like 2,000 forces up at this keep. So very, very problematic, very difficult to siege a castle when there are that many people in it. I'm also going to bring some food. You've heard me talk about the logistical side of battle, and of course I'm adding javelins. So I like to have large bags of javelins. I've talked about that before. That's so that I can rain death even when I'm not on the walls yet. So I'm bringing extra troops, extra food in particular, because this city was starved out, almost starving by the time the Aserai took it. Let's see who else I can grab here. Grab a few other companions that might be nearby. It should be able to join. It's important to mention that you can add these companion armies to your group, to your army group, as long as you add them before you start the siege. Once you start the siege, it's too late. So we're going to add a few army groups here. Of course, I'm being fucking sieged elsewhere. You know, I can't be too frustrated. This is of my own doing, right? I'm holding this narrow band here, and we're going to do our best to retake this city despite a large defense force. You know, 1,800, 1,600. Yeah, 18 fucking hundred. So we're virtually the same number of attackers and defenders. I highly discourage you from trying this early on, but hopefully some of these tactics will help you navigate very, very difficult sieges like this. It is possible. I have pulled off sieges like this before, even though the Aserai in this case are very tough. I find them to be the toughest, or at least one of the toughest kingdoms, and inside defending. So once my reinforcements arrive, you know, I should have a few more troops than them. And I did increase the quality of my troops by gathering some at the garrison there. So I'm going to build just a siege tower. I might fuck around with a few onagers here. I'm kind of in a hurry, as often is the case in my campaign. I've got other citadels under siege, so I've got my siege tower and ram built. And I think I'm going to try to build just like one or two catapults here. What is it? It's morning. I don't like sieging at night. If you've ever tried to siege at night, it's a real bitch. Can't see shit. You get shot in the face with arrows in the dark. Of course, the AI shoots flawlessly in the dark. It must be like 600 Legolas type archers defending the keep when the AI is attacking you. So I've got a couple onagers now. I'm going to build like one more ballista here. Now I'm not using this siege here to actually blow down the walls of this keep. I'm using it to counter siege the enemy and also to damage their troops. Onagers will loft, you know, big rocks or flaming balls into the keep, and that can really do some good damage and support your ranged troops. So it's, I don't know this citadel, even though it's one of my main citadels. I haven't actually had to defend it too many times. I'm looking for a spot here to put the 8th Corps. If you don't know, in sieges, I almost always keep my elite 8th unit in reserve. And my elite 8th unit is full of some of my highest level companions, family members, really badass troops. And just like great war leaders throughout history, I try to reserve them, hence the name of the reserve unit. I try to reserve them for a critical point in the battle. In this battle, it might be early on. We shall see. Obviously, the whole point of having a reserve, though, is to use it when you really need it. And if you need it right away, oh shit, getting bombarded already. And if you need it right away, you're in trouble. Right? So hopefully our counter siege does a decent job here. We've got 40-50 Battanian Fiend champions. That's certainly going to help sieging. I like to rush in with my cavalry. You'll see me drag a couple infantry units and archers up and get these ladders going right away. There's always a chance they're going to smoke your ram with their siege weapons. They'll destroy your siege tower sometimes. So you do want to make sure you try to get in here and get these ladders up. And then what I like to do is get units nearby And if you give them the charge command, F1, F3, here comes the defenders already. If you give them the charge command, F1, F3, those units will start pouring up those ladders, making it difficult for the enemy to suppress them or push them off, right? Once guys are already on the ladders, I think once they're about halfway up, the enemy can no longer push them, push the ladders away. Too much weight on the ladders. So I'm sending these guys in, attack. See, oh, so you see that huge death spam? That is Britannian Fiend Champ. That wasn't like the greatest arrow shot of all time. He's launching siege onagers out there and just crushed like 50 guys, right? So you can see the value of building some of those type of siege, even if you're not trying to destroy the wall. This is just easy money here. All I'm doing is just pegging these guys with javelins. I've got 300 throwing skill, so my javelin is just going right through a lot of the guys' shields. Doesn't always kill one guy, every guy in one shot. And it doesn't always go through the shield, but most of the time it does. Alright, so I've got those troops heading over to the ladder. I feel okay about that. One of the keys to siege, both to defending and attacking, of course, when you're attacking, you want to have multiple ways in. And when you're defending, you want to try to limit how many ways the enemy can get in, right? If the enemy can get in three different ways, you're in trouble. You see my guys are getting shoved off. That's okay. It's occupying the enemy over there. Anywhere they have to defend means they won't be able to put as many troops somewhere else, right? So that's just fine. Some of those guys are going to get in, some of them are going to get waxed, right? Going up ladders against the enemy is very difficult. It's like a full-on brute. And they're like almost bombarding my companions out there. It's kind of like a brute force kind of thing. But the main purpose of this, with so many troops, I have almost 2,000 troops. Look at all these Fiend champions. So many troops, I just want to keep the enemy busy here. While we get the ram up there, the ram's going. God, it's getting smoked though. And we get this war tower. This war tower is basically made it. Once they're to the walls, they very rarely get destroyed, although it does happen sometimes. So in this instance, also, I like to manually bring guys up. Now you can use just the auto commands, but I do find I benefit from some micromanagement. So I'm going to have an infantry unit and an archer unit position here. I like to get an archery unit kind of spread out at the base, sort of counter the enemy. Here you see I'm physically ordering these infantrymen right up to the ramp, or right up to the siege tower. I want these guys to fucking hurry up, take some 5-hour energy. Look at this. Oh, I thought that was a fucking... What was that? Was that one of my own guys? How'd he get up there already? Maybe he must have rode the ram in. Maybe he like had a sandwich while the rest of us pushed it. Okay, so here comes my infantry, and there's also a nice archer contingent. Those guys are still doing their thing over there, right? So they're still distracting, keeping the enemy busy over there. There's always a chance they'll have success, right? If the enemy doesn't have as many defenders there maybe as they need to, there's always a chance that those 50 guys, or maybe it's 100, will be able to push in. Ah, the fucking ram. Well, it's a burnt out fucking piece of shit now. They destroyed the ram like right at the door. So, but at least we have 2 ways in, right? I was talking about ways in a second ago. We have that siege tower. You see my guys are already charging, right? I moved those infantry units up there and told them to charge, so they're already going up there. Now these archers have no targets. They're Britannian Fiend champs and a few other good archer types. I just told them to charge. Like they're just fucking... Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have... Sorry, fellas. I'm not always a great general. I told these guys to charge. The point is, though, is that they will now get their asses up this siege tower. And even in combat, these guys are very capable, right? You see their big swords sticking out from underneath their fur cloaks. These guys are perfectly capable of some good offense. In fact, I see them swarming in already, right? And if they can't reach somebody, they'll shoot them, right? So you can make your archers charge. In this case, the main reason I wanted to do this is to gain a purchase. Excuse me. You want to gain a purchase on a keep like this, and what I mean by that is you want to have a sizable force push your way in. Let's see if there's any fucks up here. You want to have your sizable force push your way in so that it clears the way for more. Right? If the enemy has a whole big mass of troops right at your siege tower and you're trying to get into it, you can only get 2-3 guys on that ramp. Right? But if I've got this purchase, these guys that have already gotten up here, they're going to fight. They're distracting the enemy. Oh shit, yeah, one guy's going to kill me. You can get killed by friendly fire. I've been rocked. Look at this fucking guy. He thinks he's just going to come in here by himself. Yeah, he ain't going anywhere, dude. What the fuck? This guy's got some extremely powerful lords behind him. That's part of the reason the Azor are really strong in my game. A lot of them have like 300 plus hit points. That's partly due to a mod I used like almost a year and a half ago, where the idea of this mod, I don't have it anymore, but it basically edited like 50 of the enemy lords and increased their capabilities. And so you see the enemy sometimes taking way more hit points than you would think would kill them. Just makes the game even harder. Alright, so we have this purchase. We've got guys in here and we're scrumming. And I intentionally put these guys here. You see the Battanian Fiend champs there behind me? Right? Those guys are going to be able to shoot the enemy. I'm actually using the enemy's defense area. Oh shit. Whoever's on that onager is down there just flaming everybody, and it's like he doesn't care who he hits. You know, collateral damage. I'm gonna have to watch out for that shit. So I've got these archers up here, and we're kind of getting overrun now by defenders. Right? I need more guys to get up that fucking ramp. But those archers are raining death. I've got maybe a half dozen infantry here that are fighting, and of course I'm just racking guys in the face with nasty javelin shots, right? Like we've got a chance to at least hold this, and that's key. If we can keep this war tower area open, this is going to serve as a linchpin in this assault. I'll be able to keep archers right here. You notice the enemy's coming around the corner? Oh shit, they're coming behind us too. Oh shit, there's quite a few here. This is going to be a challenge. Alright, we're going to have to brawl some today. Let's bring these guys in. I got some reinforcements coming up, but holy fucking enemies sending up fuck ton. Alright, we're going to have to do some axe work today. Some days I can't just be master and commander. I got to actually do fucking berserker. It's just fine. I love some fucking bloodshed. Oh, this motherfucker. I have a fucking javelin. Oh, I kicked. Oh shit. Alright, so the purchase is tenuous right now. I mentioned we had a purchase. Right now we've got like 10 guys up here, 20 guys up here, and the enemy's really fucking pouring in. In fact, this man guy's there. Come on, fellas, get up here. We may still be able to hold this. Again, though, one of the keys is that ramp from the siege tower, I'm getting shot in the face. Enemies coming from behind. Fucking behead a few guys, and maybe they'll decide they don't want any of this. You should just go back to your home. Are you too good for your home? So at this stage, the key to this entire siege is holding on to this purchase point. At some point or other, I got to get archers spread out down here. If we can get a little bit more troops up these ladders here on this flank, I'm hoping I can eventually spread out archers in the same spot that the enemies had archers here. This big wide open spot of this keep is an outstanding place to attend. Well, you can attack or defend. In this case, we're going to be attacking. But that big open space down there, right? That spot there, if I can spread out archers, if I can spread out ranged troops, what that'll at least do is allow us to just storm this side of the keep. We'll be able to get lots and lots of infantry up here. And obviously at that point, you know, we're going to be able to make inroads on this siege. I've said it before, but one of the keys to siege like this, whether you're defending or attacking, is multiple access points. Of course, when you're defending, it's about limiting the access points. You can't let your enemy have 2 or 3 access points, preferably only 1, maybe 2. And when you're attacking, of course, you want to have at least 2, and ideally all 3 different access points, right? Your access points, of course, your siege towers, your siege ladder, or the ramp at the gate, right? In this case, we've got this siege tower going. The guys are just pouring in on it across the valley there. I'm trying to position my troops. I'd like to recall them over to this side, but I'm having some difficulty moving my troops around. But again, the main idea is to get multiple pressure points on the enemy, so they have to defend multiple points at once, right? Sun Tzu, one of the classic quotes, you know, of this war philosopher was, "He who defends everything defends nothing." Right? In this case, if the enemy has to defend all their different access points, they don't have enough firepower or troops to adequately defend all the locations, and their defense will fail. Right? And ultimately, as the attacker, that's our goal. We're trying to effectively pressure the enemy on multiple points and make it so that he can't defend. Right? They can't defend all the different spots that we're attacking from. So we're getting troops piled up here. This is definitely turning into a very bloody, very difficult siege. But one of the keys is I still have troops coming up this siege tower. As long as guys are coming up this siege tower, we've got a shot here, right? We have very powerful troops. I've got some of my 8th Corps. I see them standing next to me here with their high-level armor. As long as these guys don't get pushed off the siege tower, and just trying to brood our way through here, but as long as they don't get pushed off the siege tower here, we're going to win this siege eventually. That quote reminds me also of how history is sort of forgotten over the course of time. A lot of people actually attribute that quote to Frederick the Great, who definitely said it. That was definitely something that he both believed in and something he said. But he obviously read a lot of the great war philosophers. He was an extraordinarily intellectual person for a general at the time, or I guess you could call him like a warrior king. Frederick the Great was basically instrumental in the rise of Prussia in the mid-1700s. Napoleon idolized him as well. But the point is that it's very funny to hear people say, well, no, Frederick the Great said that. Well, yeah, he said that after he read Sun Tzu, who obviously far predates Frederick the Great. So back to the battle here. Sorry, I go on these tangents sometime. So we've got this little ramp area, this little wide open area. I want this for our archers, and so I'm going to try to make inroads here on their archers. They've got very high level archers here, Master Aserai archers, Britannian Fiend champs. I'm actually having a hard time telling which side is which. That motherfucker almost shot me in the face. You got to have those little dodging if you're going to run in and fly in with your axe like this, right? You see someone about to light you up, you got to be able to make that tiny sidestep. But the point is I want this upper area so that we can rain arrows down on the enemy. Right? I'm trying to spread out my archers here so that any defenders that come up this ramp are going to have to just face withering archer fire the whole time they're doing so. Right? We're going to be able to pound them with arrows. We'll have infantry supporting them in the front. But before we do that, of course, we have to basically seize it by force from this enemy. Right? This enemy's very resolute in this battle. I'm having a difficult time telling who's who because I like to keep the little indicator, the little icon above the Allied side on the dimmer side, right? On the not this obtrusive, glowing orb above these guys' head like there's some special effects, right? So it does make it more challenging sometimes. You can see there's my allies with the little orb above their head. And the enemy's reforming here. This is interesting. I don't think this is a rout. The enemy was doing pretty well there. We were definitely handing them a beating, but I think this is probably the enemy reacting to either the main gate or the other siege wall over there, the other siege tower, starting to give way. The artificial intelligence prioritizes, at least does a decent job of prioritizing threats, and I think this what looks like a retreating movement by the enemy here, I think this is them recalibrating the greatest risk, which is probably the gate being burst open and our enemy forces pushing in. So we're going to take advantage of that. This is actually a break for us because we're going to be able to clear out the enemy from this upper platform and then spread out our archers. See those murder holes there? A murder hole basically is a spot where a defender inside a keep can shoot and then stand next to a safe object and retreat to. We can actually start to use those now. We can start to use the keep defenses here against the enemy. Right, collect some ammunition here. See, now at this stage, we've got a full-on army assembling up here. Right, you see the archers down there pounding us. They've got archers down there. We're in a little bit of a standoff. They've got a large force defending the gate, and a lot of those guys were the guys they just sent there. Right, they sent basically they decided that was a bigger threat, and so they just pulled their guys back there. They are sending some guys back. It looks like they're coming around the back here, but they're sending them like 10 at a time, and frankly these guys have no chance because not only do I have archers set up, but they're not going anywhere except taking a dirt nap with 10 guys at a time. So we're going to continue to set our troops up here. What I want to do is basically get 20, 30, 40 archers on each one of these plateaus. It's not easy for me to do that because of course the reinforcement system likes to pile all your forces into one, and they're starting to definitely trickle through back here. We'll play the enforcer here. No defenders coming up here. This is fucking our land. But what we're going to do is once we get about 100, 150 guys, we'll be able to shoot down on the enemy, and then we'll also be able to make a melee push with heavy infantry. These fucking guys are just relentless. Let's do a little bow work. We'll be able to push down on the enemy though, and hopefully we can take this keep.
My first campaign was with the bow. I'm surprised that I'm able to just pick it back up and do well. I haven't really shot a bow consistently in this campaign. Early in the campaign, this guy started off as a bow. I find it easier to level, shooting a bow and being defensive. But it's been many months since I regularly shot a bow. Kind of fun that in the game you can just pick it up and shoot guys right in the neck, right? Just pick it right back up and no big deal. So again, at this stage, it seems like a stalemate, but the key is we're piling forces up in this upper area here, right? Look at how many guys we've got set up now. And they're all spread. Most of those guys have either javelins or arrows. And very soon the enemy down there, they're going to be the ones that are fucked. They're basically getting attacked by their own keep defenses, right? Now come in here and just behead some fucks. Oh shit. I've actually got to go. This is funny. So I'm back. That little break was, I'm a full-time firefighter, people don't know, and I had to actually take off. But we're back to the battle here. The enemy, again, continues to trickle around the backside here, but this is just death by 1,000 cuts. They're just not going to, unless they sent like 200 or 300 guys around the back here. Look at that big thing of javelins. That's what I want. They're just not going to be able to make access here. So the enemy's still holding the gate very firmly. They're starting to pile guys up here. In fact, they're making a push, but this is playing right into the strength of our strategy here. Look, we have all these defenders up here. We have all these archers. We have melee support now, and they're the ones. It's almost like the situation has been reversed. Now they're the ones almost that are sieging the keep. We're the ones that are defending this upper area, and they're forced to come at us, which of course that is to your advantage, right? They have a lot of guys here, but these guys are going to get cut through. I've got very high level troops here. They're actually trying to cut off the guys coming up the siege tower, but I don't think they're going to be able to do that. These are, now the enemy's sort of down to middle tier troops. You know, you're no longer seeing legionnaires and manavliatons. You're no longer seeing the highest level troops. So not only can I cut a path through these, but my companions, my 8th Corps, for people who, I've talked about it a lot, my 8th Corps full of like level 40 family members, they're just going to tear these guys up. They're streaming up here. It's quite a bit, but again, this is just playing right into our strategy. You see the death screen is all green. This was frankly what I had in mind when I started spreading archers out. This is why we wanted to seize this area in the first place. The enemy's sort of down there below, guarding the gate. But since I know the enemy can come around, right? This guy just picks up a flag right in front of me. Hey, you won't be holding it long, dude. Since I know the enemy can come around, one of our options here to approach the enemy is to actually send troops behind them, right? They're down there guarding the gate. They've got a tranche of archers that are sort of guarding the approach along this wall. But if we have trouble getting down there from this wall, then we'll just send guys around the back, right? The old prison style. We'll make an attack of the rear. So if we do go down and need it to be coordinated, it's going to have to be infantry in front, and then I'm going to try to spread archers out on this ramp. The enemy still has a very sizable force. I mean, you remember, like, my guys are still pouring up the siege ramp over there. You remember the initial size of the defense, right? Wasn't it 1,700, 1,800, right? So this is, the siege is not over yet. It's still going to be kind of bloody, forcing our way down here. And take a look and see how well they're defending it. They don't have many archers right now. That looks like 20 guys, and that's not going to work for them. So at this stage, we're going to start advancing here. What I could start doing is basically ordering my troops down. Undoubtedly, there's a large force to the right here, the spot I can't see near the gate. The few times that I have looked down there, they had plenty of troops. But we can get guys. That guy took a headshot. We can get guys at shield wall here. It's not every guy's gonna make it through. But look at all those shields, right? A lot of those are legionnaires. We still have high-level troops, and we're going to be able to force our way down here. Once we're down, of course, then we'll be able to spread out archers. We'll be able to see what's around this corner here. Okay, yeah, so there's still a lot of defenders there. They've got a pocket of a couple hundred guys. We'll get our guys spread out around down here, and then this keep's going to be ours. Unless the enemy does something really dynamic. You can see they're just letting us stream down here. This is not a winning strategy by the enemy here. I apologize for that little music switch there. I've had to do some editing with this clip. I had some editing snafus, probably because I was recording it at work and had an interruption. But back to the battle. Look, the enemy is just throwing me a nice large full bag of javelins. We appreciate that very much. We're going to load up. Again, we're spreading archers out here on the left, and that's in case the enemy either gets reinforcements that pour through that gate to the left, or the enemy makes an aggressive push on us. They have 340 guys over there. We'll have archers basically spread out here, shooting and killing anything that moves. So we'll move a little closer. They've left a nice shield, some javelins for me. It's beautiful. There's like a whole store of goods that I need here. So again, we're going to spread our archers around our infantry. This way they can shoot around the flank, right? All these archers, half these guys have full quivers. They haven't shot a bow this whole battle. They're eager to get some sharp shooting, some target practice in. Look at them right around the ridge there. There's Britannian Fiend champs. There's veteran sword sisters here. These are strong archers. And meanwhile, our shield wall infantry is just pounding the enemy slowly but surely over there. I'm going to put some forces near the gate there, just in case the enemy does send a large reinforcement wave. Unfortunately, sometimes the reinforcement waves in keep defenses, it's not an ideal system. They'll just kind of pop up like right in your midst. So there's only so much preparation you can do. Like with my archers there, it's very possible to get these gates open. It's very possible that all of a sudden enemies will just be thick in the mass right in the middle of them. But the benefit, of course, is that they're in spread formation. And the obvious advantage of that is that if the enemy does kind of pop up in the middle, a lot of those guys won't be right in the midst of the enemy. So this is pretty much it. The enemy's now getting plowed by our infantry. The screen is almost entirely green. There's like an occasional kill by the enemy. But we're starting to really hem them in and finish off this keep siege. It's been very bloody. It looks like there was a lot of death here at the gate. Probably when my allied sides on these two flanks pushed in, they probably met really fierce resistance. In fact, if you remember when the enemy fled, or not fled so much, but reformed that large group of troops that was defending that upper area, no doubt that was so that they could snuff out and attack through the main gate here. But again, that one of the keys to siege is pressure points. Get as much pressure on the enemy as you can, right? Get as many different spots into the keep as you can so that they can't defend them all. Right? Pretty soon we'll be saying Donald Trump made that quote about he who defends everything defends nothing, right? Him and Frederick the Great and also some Japanese guy 2,500 years ago. So last final touches here as we snuff out this enemy, right? We're going to pour in. Hopefully you enjoyed this siege. I know there were some audio technical difficulties. I'm sorry that the combat wasn't optimally set up for audio. I'm still kind of tinkering with my new headset, the audio settings, but I can tell you that we are starting to dial it in. So just hang with me for a few episodes. I didn't want to sort of redo this entire siege. I rarely redo sieges. There's obviously always a chance that we wouldn't have been successful. But also this just seemed like a really good tactical siege to show you how with perseverance, brute force, and understanding how siege works, you kill this guy. Oh, we killed our own guys again. We're excellent at that. In fact, that's probably, I'll brag about this, I might be the most efficient at killing my own troops in all Bannerlord. Show me someone who's better. I dare you. Anyway, so you can see the results. Very bloody. We lost two very important family members. I mean, I say they're important family members. All family members are important. But those two were starting to gain some real skills and become a key part of the family. But again, anytime you smash your way through a keep with 1,800 defenders, very tough defenders as well, we'll call that a success. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for the audio, the video. I can promise that things are getting better. Things will get better down the road. Please leave comments if you have any questions. Just ask, and I'll talk to you friends next time.